What's going on today, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. Today we're going to be taking a look at a production knife. It came out recently and I meant to review it when it came out, but so much stuff got in the way. But anyway, here it is now. This is the Kershaw 1160. It's called the Fraxion and it's designed by Jens Anso. There's the Kai logo, blade steel designation HCR 13 MOV, and Kershaw's logo. So let's go ahead and jump into the specs. 2 3/4 inch blade, like I said, HCR 13 MOV, which is basically Chinese 440C. It'll be very easy to sharpen. Not the greatest edge holding, obviously, but it's, you know, for day-to-day stuff, very workable. And it's got a nice hollow grind on this clip point blade, so very thin behind the edge. And they did a very good job of putting an edge on there from the factory. It'll pop hair off your arm. Relatively thin blade stock as well, so between the hollow grind and the thin blade stock, you're looking at a slicing machine. So the blade has that kind of black wash look to it. I think it's like a black paint and then they give it a stone wash. You can see the edges there are kind of like they have that distressed look. Yeah, I know that a lot of people seem to have an issue with the HCR steels or any of the CR steels. And I get it. They're definitely, I mean, if you get used to S35VN, it's kind of, I mean, it's a noticeable step down as far as edge retention goes. But it's so easy to just put a brand new edge on this thing, like a hair popping edge. It takes like 10 minutes to put a brand new edge on there. And it's not like you need to do it every single day. I think probably, depending on your usage, if you do use it every day, like I was doing when I had this in my pocket, like once a week, just throw a new edge on there. By the end of the week, it probably won't be popping hair off your arm anymore, but it'll still be a very workable edge. So they do have this top swedge going on that runs the length of that clip there, the clip point, and they also have a run of jimping here on the spine of the blade. Pretty standard fare as far as marking goes. There aren't many Kershaw knives that don't include all of that information, so it's not like they put more on this one than they do on their others. Handles are primarily G10, but they do have that carbon fiber sticker. I call it a sticker. It's a laminate, but it's basically just to give it the appearance of carbon fiber. But I do like the really nifty pattern they machined into the G10 scale. It gives you the grippiness of the G10 underneath of the polished carbon fiber laminate, as you can see there, kind of that checkered pattern. But you also get the two different color schemes, the polished gloss of the carbon fiber and then that matte black of the G10. Very thin profile and open construction. This knife is under 2 ounces, so you're really not gonna find a much lighter weight knife that's like a full grip with a blade sizable enough to do most EDC tasks. Obviously this is a lighter duty knife, just because of the thickness of the blade steel and the profile of the handle as well. But I mean, you're going to be able to do pretty much everything that you could ask of a daily use knife. Packaging, food prep, that kind of stuff. It's all going to be within the realm of use for this knife. Handle length is 4 inches. You can get I can just about get my full hand on there. My pinky kind of like is half on. You can, I guess, if you wanted to, choke up to there. But for the most part, I just use it in a pinch grip anyway. Like I said, open construction. I like the way that they did the standoffs are fairly well spaced. They're not, you know, right together like you see on a lot of knives, which they needed on this. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have been able to. You probably would have been able to pinch the knife. It probably would have had flex in the handle. So we do have a nested liner situation. The show side doesn't have any liner, but the locking side does have that stainless steel lock insert there, or I should say the inset liner lock. There is your lockup. The liner is fully engaged onto the blade there, no stick whatsoever. This does run on the KVT ball bearing system, so the flipping action is spectacular. This is probably my favorite flipper tab configuration. I'm talking about customs here too. This is one of my favorite flipper tab configurations, period. It's extremely well placed. It's above the pivot. It's very low profile, but you have jimping, so it's never a problem, you know, with your finger slipping off. It is angled upwards, so when you do flip the knife, you're getting full torque onto that, and it flips out very hard. You really can't not flip the knife open. Even if I just give it a very soft, it's still flipping open. Even with my thumb, it comes out very hard. The pivot hardware is one-sided, and then you have this, it should be stationary, I believe. Pocket clip it's standard fare. I mean, it could be a little bit lower placed in my opinion as far as the style of clip, but it carries perfectly well. And you get just enough out of the pocket that you can pinch it and pull from your pocket. So the locking side here doesn't have that same pattern in it, and the clip can be reversed. So for lefties, you would have a bit of a different feel. You wouldn't have that same grippy portion that a right-handed user would have, but it's still an ambidextrous knife. Fit and finish, I mean, obviously you can see that the blade is not centered. It's off by a couple millimeters, maybe a few millimeters, but honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it. The flipping action is just so fantastic. It's so fun to play with. The blade, because the blade is so thin and lightweight, you really can't, I mean, you can, obviously you can, but it's never going to be like a drop shut smooth. You do have to give it a pretty firm shake. But once you can see once the liner lock is disengaged, it swings very fast and very free. So between the firmness of the detent and the lightweight nature of the blade, it does take a little, little shake to get it to close. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this knife. I would love to see like a custom quality version of this knife. It's definitely grown on me since, when I first took it out of the box and noticed the centering and stuff. I was like, come on, like another, Chinese produced Kershaw forgettable knife. But this is for $30. We're not talking about the best materials in the world here, But as far as design and fun, like as far as the flipping action goes, this is top notch. This is batting way above its weight class as far as price goes. Because these are $30 brand new all day from pretty much any pick your website, and they're about 30 bucks. So you're getting pretty much one of the nicer flippers that I've handled in a while, and I'm talking about customs here too. With a very, very usable EDC package for 30 bucks. I don't think you can ask for a whole lot more. Maybe you could ask for a better centered blade. Other than that, there are really no problems with this knife whatsoever. There's no lock stick. There's no, hot spots on the handle. Like, it's comfortable to hold and to use. You get a really good edge from the Kershaw factory, at least I did. A blade steel that, it's not going to hold the greatest edge for the longest time, but it's going to get, it's so easy to sharpen. Who cares, One of the best flipper tabs that I've seen in a while. I really wish more makers would embrace this type of flipper tab. It's the right way to do a flipper tab. I'll say it objectively, it's the right way to do a flipper tab. You get the most torque on the blade possible. The only thing better would be is if it was like, instead of angled down, if it was angled up even a little bit. But that's why it is so snappy. Ball bearings aside, it would still probably be that snappy on washers. So, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for this quick look at the Kershaw Fraxion, designed by Jens Anso. Really nice EDC knife for $30. Can't ask for a whole lot more. All right, guys, take it easy.